Did you know that certain everyday foods, things you may already have in your kitchen, could quietly protect your brain and reduce your risk of stroke after age 65? Most people don't, and that's not their fault. When we talk about stroke, especially in older adults, we often hear about medications, high blood pressure, or risky habits like smoking. But what's often overlooked is food. Not extreme diets, not expensive supplements, just simple, everyday nutrients in the right balance, proven by science to keep your blood vessels healthy, your blood pressure stable, and your brain sharp as you age. Here's the truth. After 65, your body doesn't absorb nutrients the way it used to. Your arteries may already be less flexible, your brain more sensitive to inflammation, and tiny imbalances in your diet, the kind you don't even notice, can quietly raise your risk for stroke without warning. But the good news is this. Just by understanding a few key nutrients and making small, practical changes to what you eat each day, you can lower that risk dramatically. In fact, studies show that seniors who follow stroke-conscious nutrition can cut their risk by as much as 30 to 50% over time. In today's video, I'll walk you through 7 of the most powerful nutrients for stroke prevention after 65. You'll learn what they do in your body, which foods to find them in, and how to turn that knowledge into delicious, brain-friendly meals. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. Because stroke prevention isn't one big decision. It's a series of small, smart ones made every day, one plate at a time. So let's begin with the first and most essential nutrient, one that your brain absolutely loves: omega-3 fatty acids. Let's begin our journey into stroke-fighting nutrition with a powerful ally that's often called the brain's oil: omega-3 fatty acids. These special fats aren't made by the body, which means you have to get them from your food. And if you're over 65, your brain and heart need them more than ever. But what exactly do omega-3s do? And why do doctors emphasize them so often? Let's break it down. The science behind omega-3s and stroke. Omega-3s, especially EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, play 3 critical roles in stroke prevention. They fight inflammation. Chronic low-level inflammation is one of the root causes of atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. This condition silently damages blood vessels over time, narrowing them and increasing the chance of clots. Omega-3s help cool that internal inflammation, making arteries more flexible and less prone to rupture. They help prevent blood clots. Omega-3s naturally make blood less sticky. This reduces the risk of clots forming and blocking blood flow to the brain, the leading cause of ischemic stroke, which accounts for nearly 87% of all strokes. They stabilize heartbeat and blood pressure. Particularly important for seniors, omega-3s have been shown to reduce the risk of atrial fibrillation, a common irregular heart rhythm that significantly increases stroke risk. They also help lower triglycerides, which can build up in arteries and silently raise stroke risk. These are not minor benefits. A landmark study in the journal Stroke found that older adults with higher omega-3 intake had a 26 to 30% lower risk of stroke compared to those who consumed little or none. That's a huge difference from just a few changes on your plate. Where to get omega-3s? Naturally. Now let's talk food. The best natural source of EPA and DHA is fatty fish. Aim for 2 servings per week of wild-caught salmon, mackerel, sardines, herring, lake trout. Each serving is about the size of your palm, or 3 to 4 ounces. If you don't eat fish, or you're on a plant-based diet, there are still options. Chia seeds, 1 tablespoon equals 2,400 milligrams ALA. Ground flax seeds, 1 tablespoon equals 1,600 milligrams ALA. Walnuts, a small handful equals 2,500 milligrams ALA. Hemp seed seaweed or algae-based supplements, a good source of DHA for vegetarians. One thing to remember, plant-based omega-3s are ALA, which the body must convert into EPA and DHA. Unfortunately, as we age, this conversion becomes less efficient, especially in men. That's why seniors may benefit from a high-quality fish oil or algal oil supplement with guidance from a healthcare provider. A simple meal idea: brain-boosting breakfast bowl. Here's a stroke-friendly breakfast you can prepare in under 5 minutes. Half cup of plain Greek yogurt or unsweetened oat milk. 2 tablespoons chia seeds, a handful of blueberries and raspberries, a sprinkle of walnuts, a drizzle of cinnamon or a splash of vanilla extract. Let it sit for 10 minutes so the chia thickens, or prep it the night before for a cold overnight oats style bowl. This breakfast is rich in omega-3s, antioxidants, fiber, and it's gentle on digestion. Common mistakes to avoid. Even with good intentions, many seniors miss out on omega-3 benefits due to eating fish that's deep fried, which cancels out the heart benefits, relying on omega-3 enriched processed foods, which usually contain low-quality oils, using omega-3 supplements without checking quality. Choose ones tested for mercury and heavy metals. Also, some blood-thinning medications may interact with high doses of fish oil, so always talk to your doctor before starting a new supplement, especially if you're taking aspirin or warfarin. In short, omega-3s are one of the most powerful natural protectors against stroke, especially after age 65. They're easy to add to your diet, affordable, and come with bonus benefits like supporting your joints, memory, and even mood. And the sooner you make them part of your daily life, the better your brain and heart will thank you in the years to come. Now, let's move on to another powerful nutrient that often goes unnoticed, yet could help lower your stroke risk even further: soluble fiber. Now let's talk about a nutrient that works quietly behind the scenes to protect your brain and your arteries every single day. Soluble fiber. You might think of fiber as something that keeps things moving. And while that's true, there's much more to it, especially when it comes to stroke prevention after age 65. What is soluble fiber? Soluble fiber is a type of fiber that dissolves in water and forms a gel-like substance in your digestive system. This gel does more than just help digestion. It actively pulls bad cholesterol out of your bloodstream, stabilizes your blood sugar, and feeds your gut's healthy bacteria, which scientists now know plays a critical role in reducing inflammation and protecting brain health. That's a powerful trio for stroke prevention. Lower LDL cholesterol. When LDL, the bad cholesterol, builds up in the blood, it forms plaque in the arteries. Over time, that plaque can narrow or block blood flow to the brain. Soluble fiber helps trap LDL in the digestive tract and carry it out of the body before it can do harm. Steady blood sugar levels, spikes in blood sugar, cause your blood vessels to stiffen and weaken. Soluble fiber slows digestion, keeping your blood sugar more stable, which also helps reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, another major stroke risk factor. Nourishes your gut microbiome. Good gut bacteria thrive on fiber. In return, they produce compounds that fight inflammation and even help regulate your mood and blood pressure. A healthier gut equals a healthier brain. Best food sources of soluble fiber. You don't need anything fancy, just real food. Some top sources include oats, especially steel-cut or rolled oats, apples, especially with the skin on, pears, carrots, sweet potatoes, barley beans and lentils, like black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, flax seeds and chia seeds. Try this simple breakfast idea. Apple oatmeal with cinnamon and walnuts, 1/2 cup rolled oats, 1 chopped apple, 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed, a pinch of cinnamon top with a few crushed walnuts for texture and extra omega-3. This meal delivers soluble fiber, antioxidants, and brain-loving healthy fats, all in one bowl. How much do you need? For older adults, the recommended daily intake of fiber is about 21 grams for women over 50, 30 grams for men over 50. But here's the problem. Most Americans, especially seniors, are only getting half that amount per day. So how do you fix that? It starts with small swaps. Replace white bread with whole grain. Use beans instead of meat in one meal per day. Add a fruit or vegetable to every meal, not just dinner. Even adding just 5 more grams of fiber per day has been linked with a 12% lower risk of stroke, according to a study published in the journal Stroke. Cautions for sensitive stomachs. Now, if you're not used to eating a lot of fiber, don't jump in too fast. Increase slowly, 1 serving at a time, and always drink plenty of water. Soluble fiber needs liquid to do its job, and without enough hydration, you could feel bloated or constipated. Also, if you've had intestinal surgery, inflammatory bowel disease, or are on a low-fiber diet for medical reasons, consult your doctor before making big changes. In summary, soluble fiber doesn't just help your digestion, it cleans your arteries, balances your blood sugar, and feeds your gut to reduce inflammation. And all of that adds up to fewer clots, fewer blockages, and a lower chance of stroke. So the next time you make breakfast, ask yourself, is my fiber working for my brain today? Coming up next, we'll talk about 2 minerals that quietly control your blood pressure, heart rhythm, and stroke risk. And you might be missing them without even realizing it. Magnesium and potassium. As we age, one of the biggest silent threats to brain health isn't what we feel, it's what we don't feel. High blood pressure is called the silent killer for a reason. You may not feel a thing, but over time, it quietly damages your arteries, weakens vessel walls, and raises the risk of stroke dramatically. That's where magnesium and potassium come in. These 2 essential minerals are like internal peacekeepers. They work together to relax blood vessels, reduce pressure inside your arteries, and help your heart maintain a steady rhythm. Why magnesium matters. Magnesium plays a role in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body, and many of those involve your blood vessels and muscles, including the heart. It helps regulate muscle contraction, preventing your arteries from tightening too much. It supports healthy blood sugar levels, which is vital because blood sugar instability raises stroke risk. It also helps balance calcium inside cells, which prevents unwanted clotting and spasms in vessel walls. Low magnesium levels have been associated with increased risk of ischemic stroke, higher blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms like atrial fibrillation. What's more surprising, nearly 70 to 80% of older adults in the U.S. don't get enough magnesium from food alone. Why potassium is critical. Potassium works alongside magnesium to keep the electrical system of your heart and brain stable. But more than that, it helps. Flush excess sodium from the body, directly reducing blood pressure. Reduce stiffness in arteries. Improve kidney function, which helps regulate fluid balance. According to the CDC, low potassium and high sodium intake is a dangerous combination, common in processed food diets, and is linked with significantly higher rates of stroke and cardiovascular disease. The ideal ratio is more potassium, less sodium. A simple change that could save lives. Foods rich in magnesium and potassium. You don't need pills when you just need the right foods. Top sources of magnesium: leafy greens, spinach, kale, Swiss chard nuts and seeds, pumpkin seeds, almonds, sunflower seeds, legumes, black beans, lentils, whole grains, brown rice, quinoa, avocados, and bananas. Top sources of potassium: bananas, sweet potatoes, beans, white beans are especially high, beets, oranges and dried apricots, potatoes with skin. Pro tip: try a warm bowl of mashed sweet potato with a sprinkle of cinnamon and chopped almonds. It's rich in both minerals, easy to digest, and delicious. What about supplements? If you have kidney disease, be cautious. Too much potassium or magnesium can be dangerous. Always consult your doctor before taking supplements. That said, for most seniors with healthy kidneys, getting these minerals from food is safer, better absorbed, and comes with extra fiber, antioxidants, and flavor. Real impact clinical studies show that seniors who increase potassium-rich food intake can see systolic blood pressure drop by 3 to 5 points, which in turn lowers stroke risk by as much as 10 to 15%. And those who maintain magnesium levels above 375 milligrams per day have been shown to reduce the risk of ischemic stroke by up to 22%, according to a 2017 meta-analysis in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. To sum it up, magnesium and potassium may not be flashy, but they are foundational. They keep your blood vessels calm, your heart steady, and your brain protected from silent pressure that builds with age. So next time you build your plate, ask yourself, does this meal support my minerals or steal them? Now, let's move into a lesser-known but equally powerful stroke protector, found in colorful fruits and teas, called antioxidants. If you've ever heard someone say, "Eat the rainbow," they were probably talking about antioxidants, the colorful compounds in fruits, vegetables, teas, and even herbs that protect your cells from damage. But what most people don't realize is that antioxidants aren't just about skin, aging, or eyesight. They play a critical role in stroke prevention, especially for older adults. What are antioxidants? Your body is constantly under attack from unstable molecules called free radicals. These molecules are produced during digestion, stress, pollution, and even when you're exposed to too much sun. Over time, they damage cells, stiffen arteries, and promote inflammation, all of which increase your risk of stroke. Antioxidants are the body's internal firefighters. They neutralize free radicals, reduce oxidative stress, and keep your blood vessels elastic and clean. The more you age, the more you need them, because your body's natural defenses decline over time. How they protect against stroke. Improve blood vessel health. Antioxidants help prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. Oxidized LDL is the kind that sticks to artery walls and forms plaques. Reduce inflammation. Chronic inflammation damages artery linings. Antioxidants help calm this process. Boost brain circulation. Certain antioxidants, like flavonoids in berries and cocoa, help improve blood flow to the brain, supporting memory and reducing the risk of small vessel strokes. A major study in neurology found that older adults with the highest intake of antioxidant-rich foods had a 29% lower risk of stroke compared to those with the lowest intake. Best food sources of antioxidants. You don't need expensive powders or supplements, just real, colorful food. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. Dark chocolate, 70% cocoa or higher in moderation. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, beets, contain betalains, great for circulation. Green tea, packed with catechins, a powerful antioxidant group turmeric. Its active compound curcumin fights inflammation deeply. Citrus fruits, oranges, lemons, limes, rich in vitamin C, red cabbage, bell peppers, purple sweet potatoes. Vibrant color means high antioxidant value. Pro tip. For a brain-loving afternoon snack, try a cup of green tea with a square of dark chocolate and a handful of fresh berries. What about teas and spices? Herbal teas like rooibos, hibiscus, and chamomile are rich in antioxidants and also help calm the nervous system, indirectly supporting heart and brain health. Spices like cinnamon, clove, and oregano are surprisingly potent too. One study ranked antioxidant density of foods and found cloves, cinnamon, and turmeric among the highest per gram. So the next time you cook, season generously. You're not just adding flavor, you're defending your blood vessels. Supplements, yes or no? In general, doctors recommend getting antioxidants from whole foods, not pills. That's because supplements can provide imbalanced doses, which may backfire. Some high-dose antioxidant supplements, like vitamin E, have been linked to increased bleeding risk in people on blood thinners. Whole foods contain combinations of nutrients that work together for better absorption and effect. In short, antioxidants are your natural shield, fighting the invisible stress that silently damages arteries over time. They come in every color of nature, and every bite you take makes a difference. So the next time you prepare a meal, ask yourself, where's the color on my plate? Because the more vibrant your food, the brighter your brain's future. Now let's move on to a lesser-known but game-changing vitamin, one that helps your arteries stay flexible by managing calcium where it should and shouldn't go. Vitamin K2. If you've been told to take calcium for bone health, especially after 65, you're not alone. But here's the part many doctors forget to explain. Calcium only helps when it goes to the right place. That's where vitamin K2 steps in. And for seniors focused on stroke prevention, it might be one of the most underrated nutrients of all. What does vitamin K2 do? Think of calcium as a strong worker, but a little directionless. Without supervision, it can end up in the wrong places, like your artery walls instead of your bones. Vitamin K2 is like a traffic controller. It tells calcium, go to the bones and teeth. Stay out of the blood vessels and soft tissues. Specifically, it activates proteins like matrix GLA protein, MGP, which help prevent arterial calcification, the hardening of arteries that's a major contributor to ischemic stroke and high blood pressure in older adults. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition followed over 16,000 women and found that those with the highest K2 intake had a 20% lower risk of coronary heart disease, and the effect on stroke risk is believed to be similar. Why it matters. After age 65. As we age, calcium regulation becomes less efficient. Many seniors are prescribed calcium supplements but not given K2. This can cause calcium buildup in arteries. Arterial stiffness increases naturally with age, and calcification speeds this up. If you already have high blood pressure, diabetes, or kidney disease, the risk of arterial calcification is even higher. K2 helps protect against all of this by making sure the calcium you're taking in actually strengthens your bones and doesn't clog your arteries. Where can you get vitamin K2? Unlike vitamin K1, found in leafy greens, K2 is found in smaller amounts in specific foods, especially those that are fermented or animal-based. Natto, fermented soybeans, highest source, popular in Japan. Hard cheeses like Gouda, Edam, and Brie egg yolks from pasture-raised chickens. Liver and organ meats, grass-fed butter, and some fermented dairy. Even though natto is not common in American diets, incorporating aged cheeses, pasture-raised eggs, or a small amount of fermented foods into your weekly meals can make a big difference over time. Pro tip. Scramble 2 pasture-raised eggs with spinach and mushrooms. Sprinkle a little aged cheese on top, and serve with whole grain toast for a K2-rich, stroke-conscious breakfast. Should seniors take a K2 supplement? If you're taking calcium, vitamin D3, or have known plaque buildup, your doctor might recommend a K2 supplement, often paired with D3 for synergy. The MK7 form of K2 is most effective as it stays active in the body longer. But remember, if you're on blood thinners like warfarin, talk to your doctor first. K2 can affect how those medications work, so adjustments may be needed. To wrap up, vitamin K2 may be small in size, but it plays a mighty role in keeping calcium where it belongs and your arteries clear and flexible. For older adults already focused on bone strength, adding K2 to the mix could also mean protecting your brain from the inside out. Next up, we'll cover a vitamin that supports nerve function, brain clarity, and may even help reduce the size and severity of strokes, especially in older adults. Vitamin B12. Let's talk now about a vitamin that often flies under the radar until it's too late. After age 60, vitamin B12 deficiency becomes surprisingly common and potentially dangerous. But when it comes to stroke risk and recovery, B12 might be one of the most important nutrients to pay attention to. What does vitamin B12 do? Vitamin B12 plays a critical role in producing red blood cells, which carry oxygen to the brain. Protecting nerve cells, it builds and maintains the myelin sheath, the insulation around your nerves. Lowering homocysteine, a substance in the blood that, when elevated, is strongly linked to increased risk of stroke and heart disease. Supporting brain clarity, focus, and mood stability. In short, B12 keeps your brain sharp, your nerves calm, and your blood vessels safe. The hidden danger after age 65. As we age, our stomach's ability to absorb B12 from food drops significantly. This is due to lower stomach acid production, use of medications like proton pump inhibitors for reflux, or metformin for diabetes, a condition called pernicious anemia, autoimmune, B12 deficiency. Even if you're eating meat and eggs regularly, your body might not be absorbing B12 properly, and deficiency symptoms can be subtle at first. Common signs include fatigue or weakness, numbness or tingling in hands and feet, memory loss or confusion, trouble walking or balance issues, pale or yellowish skin. What's especially concerning is that long-term B12 deficiency can mimic signs of dementia or stroke, but is entirely reversible if caught early. How does B12 affect stroke risk? Here's where the science gets compelling. High levels of homocysteine, a byproduct of protein metabolism, have been directly linked to arterial damage, increased clotting, and higher stroke risk. B12 helps break down homocysteine and flush it from the bloodstream. A meta-analysis of 19 trials published in Stroke 2013 found that homocysteine-lowering B vitamins, including B12, reduce stroke risk by 12 to 15%, especially in older adults. And for seniors recovering from a mini-stroke TIA, B12 supplementation was shown to improve neurological recovery and reduce the risk of recurrence. Where to get B12? Vitamin B12 is found only in animal-based foods. Beef liver, very high. Eggs, especially the yolks. Dairy products, milk, yogurt, cheese. Fish, salmon, tuna, sardines. Poultry and red meat. Pro tip: a breakfast of scrambled eggs with spinach and a side of Greek yogurt provides both B12 and supportive nutrients like iron and calcium. If you follow a vegetarian or vegan diet, or if your doctor suspects low absorption, B12 supplements, either sublingual, under the tongue, or injections, may be needed. These forms bypass the stomach and absorb directly into the bloodstream. Testing and supplementation. It's easy to check B12 levels through a simple blood test. Optimal B12 levels for seniors are above 400 picograms per milliliter, though many labs use lower cutoffs, which may miss early symptoms. For most seniors, a daily supplement of 250 to 500 micrograms is safe and effective. In cases of deficiency, doctors may prescribe weekly injections until levels normalize. To summarize, vitamin B12 is essential for keeping your brain clear, your nerves working, and your stroke risk down. Yet it's also one of the most common deficiencies after 65. If you felt unusually tired, forgetful, or off balance, it might not just be age. It could be B12. Next, we'll explore a powerful antioxidant vitamin that supports blood vessel repair, immune function, and stroke recovery, especially in combination with other nutrients. Vitamin C. When you think of vitamin C, you probably think of colds, citrus fruits, or a glass of orange juice in the morning. But this essential vitamin is more than just an immune booster. It's also a powerful ally in stroke prevention and vascular protection, especially for seniors. How vitamin C works. Vitamin C is a water-soluble antioxidant, which means it works in the fluid parts of your body, like blood plasma, to neutralize harmful free radicals. This is especially important in the lining of your blood vessels, where oxidative stress can lead to plaque buildup, atherosclerosis, arterial stiffness. Micro tears in the vessel walls that increase clot risk. Vitamin C also helps your body produce collagen, the main protein that keeps arteries and capillaries strong and flexible. Think of it as your blood vessel's maintenance crew. Finally, it boosts the effectiveness of vitamin E, iron absorption, and plays a supporting role in immune regulation, all of which matter when you're over 65 and your repair systems are slowing down. What does this mean for stroke? Studies show that low vitamin C levels are associated with higher blood pressure, increased arterial stiffness, greater stroke severity, and longer recovery. A 10-year study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults with the highest blood levels of vitamin C had a 42% lower risk of stroke than those with the lowest. Another 2013 study in neurology showed that patients who had higher levels of vitamin C at the time of their stroke had better recovery outcomes and shorter hospital stays. Where to get it? Vitamin C is found in a wide range of colorful fruits and vegetables. Some top choices include bell peppers, especially red and yellow, kiwis, oranges, and citrus fruits, strawberries, papaya, and mango broccoli, Brussels sprouts tomatoes. Pro tip: combine citrus with iron-rich foods like spinach or lentils to improve iron absorption, a common deficiency in older adults. Try this stroke-smart snack: a small fruit salad with strawberries, kiwi, and orange slices, refreshing, antioxidant-rich, and easy on digestion. Supplements. When are they helpful? Most people can get enough vitamin C from diet alone, but certain situations might call for supplementation. If you smoke or are exposed to secondhand smoke, if you have chronic illness, low appetite, or poor digestion, if you've had a recent stroke or surgery when repair needs are higher. The recommended daily amount for adults over 65 is around 75 to 90 milligrams, but many experts suggest a daily intake of 200 to 500 milligrams for optimal vascular support, especially in older populations. Be cautious with megadoses greater than 2,000 milligrams, which can cause kidney stones or stomach upset in sensitive individuals. To wrap up, vitamin C doesn't just fight colds. It strengthens blood vessels, reduces oxidative damage, and aids recovery if a stroke does occur. And the best part? It's easy to find, delicious, and affordable. Next up, we'll look at a plant-based compound you've probably eaten without realizing, one that improves circulation, reduces inflammation, and may even help prevent blood clots. Flavonoids. You may not know the word flavonoid, but chances are you've enjoyed them in your tea, dark chocolate, or berries. These powerful plant compounds are nature's way of protecting your blood vessels, and research shows they can be a game changer for stroke prevention, especially for seniors. What are flavonoids? Flavonoids are a large family of phytonutrients found in colorful fruits, vegetables, teas, and herbs. They act as antioxidants, neutralizing free radicals, anti-inflammatory agents, calming the immune response in vessel walls, vascular regulators, helping arteries dilate and improving circulation, platelet managers, reducing the stickiness of blood that leads to clots. There are several types of flavonoids, such as quercetin, catechins, anthocyanins, and flavanols, each with unique benefits. But collectively, they work together to keep your blood flowing smoothly, prevent clots, and protect delicate brain vessels from rupture or blockage. How do flavonoids lower stroke risk, improve endothelial function? The lining of your blood vessels becomes more flexible and responsive. Reduce blood pressure by relaxing blood vessel walls. Prevent blood clots by lowering platelet aggregation without thinning the blood dangerously. Enhance brain perfusion, which means better blood delivery to memory and movement centers. A long-term study from Harvard involving over 93,000 women found that those with the highest flavonoid intake had a 19% lower risk of ischemic stroke. Other research shows flavonoids boost cognitive health and may even slow age-related brain decline. Where to find flavonoids? They're everywhere, if you know where to look. Berries, especially blueberries, blackberries, and cherries. Dark chocolate, minimum 70% cocoa. Green and black tea. Red cabbage, red onions. Citrus fruits, especially peels and membranes. Apples with skin, pears, plums. Kale, parsley, and celery. Pro tip: try starting your day with a brain boost tea. Green tea with lemon and a few frozen blueberries stirred in. Antioxidant rich, circulation boosting, and brain friendly. Should you take flavonoid supplements? Most doctors recommend getting flavonoids from whole foods. Supplements often isolate one compound, while natural foods offer a synergistic mix, which the body recognizes and uses more effectively. If you're considering cocoa flavanol capsules or concentrated tea extracts, talk with your doctor first, especially if you're on blood pressure or blood thinning medication. To summarize, flavonoids are one of the most powerful, yet natural tools you can use daily to improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and protect against stroke. And the best part? They come in your favorite fruits, your morning tea, and even your piece of dark chocolate. Coming up in our final section, a quick recap of all the nutrients we've covered and how to put them into action in one easy-to-follow daily routine. Stay with us, because the smallest changes often make the biggest difference. You've just learned about 8 essential nutrients that science shows can make a real difference in reducing stroke risk, especially after age 65. But now comes the most important part: turning knowledge into action. So let's make it simple. Here's how you can build a stroke-smart daily routine using these nutrients. No gimmicks, no exotic ingredients, just everyday food, smart choices, and a little planning. Let's start with your morning. For breakfast, blend a smoothie that includes half a cup of oats, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, half a cup of blueberries, half a banana, a handful of spinach, and almond milk or Greek yogurt. This single meal covers fiber, omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, potassium, magnesium, and B12. Enjoy it with a warm cup of green tea to add flavonoids and start your day with circulation-supporting compounds. Midday, focus on a large salad filled with mixed greens, chickpeas, cherry tomatoes, grated carrots, and hard-boiled eggs. Dress it with olive oil, lemon juice, and a pinch of turmeric. Pair that with a slice of whole grain toast topped with avocado for an extra boost of potassium and healthy fats. For an afternoon snack, treat yourself to a small square of dark chocolate and a few walnuts, both rich in flavonoids and omega-3s. As dinner rolls around, build your plate around steamed or roasted vegetables like broccoli, beets, or Brussels sprouts. Add a serving of grilled salmon or a hearty lentil stew and a side of sweet potato or quinoa. For an optional bonus, include a small piece of hard cheese, a great source of vitamin K2. Before bed, unwind with chamomile or rooibos tea, and if advised by your doctor, consider a B12 supplement, especially if you follow a diet low in animal products. Let's quickly recap what we've covered. Omega-3s reduce inflammation and prevent clotting. Fiber lowers cholesterol and stabilizes blood sugar. Magnesium helps lower blood pressure. Potassium balances sodium and supports heart rhythm. Antioxidants protect vessel walls. Vitamin K2 prevents calcium buildup in arteries. Vitamin B12 supports nerve health and lowers homocysteine levels. And flavonoids improve circulation and reduce clot risk. Stroke prevention doesn't have to mean fear or complexity. It means daily decisions, simple, doable habits that work together to protect your brain, strengthen your heart, and support a longer, healthier life. If you start with just one change today, a morning smoothie, a daily walk, switching out salt for herbs, you're already building your defense. If you found this guide helpful, please hit like and subscribe. Share it with someone you love who's over 60, because it might just save a life. And if you're ready for more, check out our next video. Mini stroke warning signs. Every senior should know, because knowledge is your strongest medicine.